Ellen Marie Francisco. Welcome to my channel. We're going to talk about the energies hitting us right now. So let's see. Hello. All right, so we have the Queen King of Swords coming in. So this is a very strong mastery card. Queen has taken over the kingdom. We knew it was inevitable. We knew things would circle around again to put the mother at the helm. So, and as you know, we've been dealing with authority in one way or another. So who's the actual authority? Mother. So this is a new connection. These are wider tendrils moving across the entire earth, bringing in to better focus our connectedness and our shared consciousnesses. I think I think it's a very good, this is very good fast track energy. You may be working more and more. This is like a telepathic card too. Lots of communication without saying a word, basically. So the unspoken, the obvious unspoken. I'm also hearing that. You know, this is also a lot about truth and gossip and the word and the this and, you know, what's being said and what's being heard. You know, reading between the lines, that kind of a thing, or listening between the lines. Yeah. Okay, so she's our dominant card today. And crossing is the Eight of Wands. It's a karmic juncture point in our own identity and where we are about to take off. This is our spirited journey. The easiest journeys to gain momentum on are the ones we're meant to be on, right? Like it's a total fast track when you're in alignment with your own path. So looks like we're starting off strong. It's also, you know, moving upward. So timing is everything. We've been feeling like things are going to kind of blow wide open on the positive side and the projects and things like that we're trying to get into the real world. So this could be, you know, a sign for sure that the momentum, the pace is certainly picking up, no question. And even if I feel like there's retrograding planets, I do not feel like there is going to be any time for boredom. I think it's coming at us from every side. And, yeah, and multiple dimensions too. Oh, and what's underneath us this week, in the next week? The sun. The solar eclipse is, you know, wow, gonna ride underneath us in our supportive positioning. I mean, what happens when you go to the beach all day in the sunlight, all day from the morning? All that light reflects off the waters, so does the sun. You soak it in, and then at the end of the day you can't even move because you're so wiped out. And that's kind of what it looks like while you're picking up new messaging. So what's interesting is, so for those of us that are having a hard time in the mental space and having the tug of war and wrestling and trying to go there, don't think that, it's okay, we'll be fine, you know, that's one thing. For those that are already kind of immune, or at least, or let's not say immune, because I don't know if anybody's really immune right now, because there's something in all of us that has not been resolved, that is coming to the forefront to be like surrendered and you know, sort of the lamb, the sacrificial lamb. Here, take this part of me. So, um, so for those who are a little too busy in every way, you know, whether the schedules are too compacted, there's too many going on, they didn't thin out and slow down, they couldn't, whatever happened, you know, and then you've got all the negative stuff maybe rolling through because you're so concerned that you're doing everything wrong. Meanwhile, you know, the solar codes have been hitting and they're bringing in the truth, right? Like they're bringing in the new realities, not the old stories, not the old fantasies, not the old misconceived and misperceived notions that were never true to begin with. So it's interesting. I think we have to get rid of the lies that we've been telling ourselves. We have to. We cannot hide with those lies. So your weak spots, your weak spots are tickling you basically in these next couple of weeks so that you can recognize where you need to build strengths and where you need to fortify, really. And anyway, so, you know, I find the negative emotions are a wall that hits us almost like one of those temptations. Well, gee, are you going to get so overwhelmed you're not going to take another step, even though this is just a wall of falsity? You know, if you can see beyond the falsehoods and the lies in the fear or the lies and the insecurity, then what are you left with except the truth that you could do it? So, and I think that that's the point. The solar eclipse is bringing in our absolutes, our, oh yeah, you're doing this. Oh, for sure you are. Yes, you're going to be on this journey and you're going to be more enlightened and you're going to feel connected to yourself and you won't be feeling as lost as you have been because you'll have more of you intact to work with. Yeah. Page of Cups is also in our spread this time. That's a lot of, we've had this related to the full moon eclipse, and it is a very emotional card. It does have to do with all the young in our life, whether that's our inner child or our own children or other people's children or God's children or however you want to look at it. It's still the same thing. Your speech patterns should match the heart patterns, not the mind patterns right now. So yeah, like almost the brain needs a staycation. You know, like a timeout staycation kind of a thing. And so frivolity, serendipity, I'm hearing another one, keep hearing the itty, blah, 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 blah. Serendipity, did I say that? Am I repeating myself? Yeah, I'm channeling when I can't remember what I said a second ago. So, heart to hearts. Don't be afraid to talk it out. Some people, you know what's sad too, is, I felt like, yeah, this is not a 2-week period to be isolating if you're kind of on a groove that isn't going in the right direction. So if it's playing a song backwards, and upside down, stop that music and go listen to somebody else's playlist for optimism and inspiration. And this spirit work, it really is. I mean, it's interesting because spirit challenges us so much, and I don't know if we've had much time to just really take a breath. And that helps. Six of Pentacles upside down. This is family. Lots of family. So this could be the supportive family. This could be the family who wasn't supportive but pointed out where your supports need to come from, and then you figured out where to get your supports. So if they didn't give you the value, their lack of value gave you the value. So you could be dealing with family dynamic right now that's like a little bit of like, blah. I almost feel like pre-holiday stuff going, like, blah. You know, is your truth to hang out with people that you don't like? Sorry. Or that trigger you? Like, are you too triggered to be triggered anymore right now? So there may have to be, so you may be having to make some sensible, prudent decisions and choices about what your limits are, what your actual limits are, and if your own resources are low, then I would consider who can you reach out with that isn't going to have issue, you know, or create issue in any way that you may be sensitive to right now. And the other thing too is sometimes if you've lost a grandmother that you've been really close to, you may be feeling her. She may be trying to get through to you. Often when we go through growth in our crown chakra, as a medium, I've seen this so many times, the grandmothers come through to help stabilize the third eye, especially the crown chakra, and they'll often work, well, it's actually no holds barred when it comes to the grandmothers are working on you. And this doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter whether you knew them or not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they were in the same country. None of that matters, because it's spiritual contracts running behind everything that make this so. So I would say there is support from the family. If you're wanting to invest in something, you may not think to ask your family because you're independent. You want to just do it your own way and all the rest of it, or do it, you know, to prove to yourself you can. But with this kind of a card, the six, especially with it upside down, like I would read that as the resources are at the ready. So if you need them and you have like some block or resistance over actually speaking out loud your truth of what you actually need, then I would say, I would challenge you to do it. I would challenge you to at least get the words out, because we're, you know, in very many ways, we're already told, like, she's the queen of the gift, she's got the gift of the gab. She knows exactly what to say. And this card with the Page of Swords, the Page of Cups, is pretty much demanding that we not suppress things that we are better to talk about. Yeah. You know, Spirit really does just need us to do our due diligence as far as keeping our own side of the street clean. You know, have the conversations you need to have so nobody needs to fester around you. Clear the air when the stakes are low, rather than letting time and pressure and insecurities and, you know, lack of faith create a dust storm. Okay, who else is showing up? You know, I am not surprised, because we're dealing with these senses of dualities in ourselves, and our own higher self is a little more available to be along for the ride now that your sensitivities have shifted. You're more aware of this help and support. This is also sisterhood, so it could be that some of the relationships that you are nurturing right now are more on an equilibrium to the kind of friend or support that you are, so it's not so much one-sided as it might have been in the past when, you know, the boundaries weren't the best or you weren't living fully in your own truth. You know, where, because there's less negotiation needed when you're living in your truth. There are just absolute knowings that you work from. So I think you're looking to do that in every circle, like not just your own private inner world. I think it needs to extend outward. So you may be deciding who your allies are. This is an actual very pivotal point too in the spread, because it's the gateway to the future. So it will be in the sense of how we relate, you know. Yeah, so your personal relationships need to be extremely personal. I would cultivate a showing me. It's true. There may be. I feel like there's a lot of independent people out there that just shoulder a lot of things on their own. Oh, it's okay, I can do it. It's fast, it's fine. I know how to do it. I'm going to do it, and it happens, and it's done. Okay? And then there's the other way where through cooperation, community cohesion, and collaborative measures, the shared responsibilities also get it done in a way that feels nurtured, supported, and embraced. So I think that this eclipse may change a little bit from, you know, solitary to duality. Like, I mean, if you're working with your higher power all the time, you would rarely make a mistake. Like if you were honoring that part of you every step of the way, if you decided, all right, that's it. If this is the gateway to the future and it is relationships, let's start at home. Let's start with me. Let's start with how much I can nurture my own truth and my own heart and my own timing, and make that commitment, because like that's the thing. Your higher self is the ride. Your higher self is the ride, basically. So you'd have to be along for the ride. You have to be along for the ride. So you're probably going to be understanding that. I think our idea of, oh, maybe I'm not in control. Maybe there is something else in control here. Maybe there is a better knowing force that's working to my benefit, for my benefit. Right? You may be suspending old judgments in order to envelop these new truths. I'm telling you, it's about connection. She is this queen of ours, this queen king beauty. She's a queen of connection. She is not afraid. She's like dialing it in. Let's go. Set up the gateways. The other thing this is too, it can represent health and appointments and medical testing and needlework and things like that. So I would say the physical body also really needs to be taken care of too, optimally, in these next couple of weeks with certain mastery. You know what I mean? So if you've been neglectful of yourself in the past, not these 2 weeks to do it. So I would put yourself in the forefront here, so that you have resources building you know, because it is it is a depleting time. It really is, for sure. It's an energetic drain. I'm just amazed at how many paradoxes we get with just our day-to-day living. You know, there's that fatigue coming through. So the Ace of Cups. There's a lot of love in this spread. So this is divine love. This is our sacral waking up, being willing to create and adorn the gods, basically, source, light, and all the rest of it. The inevitability that you're here to grow, even if you'd like to do the status quo. There's always, like I said, like you have to be along for this ride. That's, I guess, maybe where some of the consciousness is changing. And the aces do, I believe, bring in the creator and the God plane. So there may be new ways that you're identifying your own creativity. It would make sense if this was crossing us to begin with, this Eight of Wands. If we were about to take off, then then it would make sense that Spirit would be resourcing us through the crown chakra, with the information we need, or with the presence, in both way, presence and presence, that are around for us to enjoy. Very metamorphic time period too, like massive amounts of growth in a really short period of time. That I think is part of what's got our bodies so off mark, you know. Hard to be, it's an odd thing to be triggered and still be in flow with the universal energies. It can feel like you're going in two opposite directions at once, and you're questioning the meaning of everything, and yet everything means something. So no need to question, just let everything speak to you. Wow. So so we did have, as we know, the King of Swords. This is a queen. She is so strong. She still brought in the king. Alright, so he's the king of truth to me. And he will stand alone in his truth, no problem. Couldn't care less what anybody else thinks. It's not that he lacks compassion, it's that he lacks confusion. It doesn't matter. He's too busy talking to the gods about what's coming next and listening to his little directives so he can lead others through. So yeah, there may be some nice balance in new relationships. Yeah, I'm seeing something. Careful words, you know, choosing your words very carefully during this period as well. Keeping in mind that words linger long after they've left the lips and reverberate for eons of time. So I would say, if there are things that you would like people to say, or I'm sorry, that you need to say to people, then it may be important for you to do that in this next couple of weeks to set the right tones for yourself too. Very emotional card coming up at the Knight of Cups. In this deck, she's a female. It is upside down too, so I still believe that this pouring out of emotion in every direction is for our highest good. It just feels a little messy in the meantime. But this is also, to me, a music card and the actual heart organ card. heart intelligence. So, the heart listens very well. Um, and if you can disengage the mind more favorably, then there wouldn't be much worry, because the heart would just be telling you that it's working towards its own cohesion, basically, and its own motivations and inspirations. Um, but some people get into this state in their hearts, and they become writers and musicians and poets, and they end up going into more expressive arts. And with the Ace of Cups, sort of hinting at these new beginnings that are more charged with the divine, because you're more prepared to handle it and welcome it, then these two could, like, you may be starting some creative project that is so close to your heart. You've been waiting to do it a long time, and out it comes during this eclipse cycle. So, let the day-to-day timing unfold, rather than pushing up against it, because it seems like creation is afoot, and creation has its own timeline, because it works with the magic plane and the laws of light. So our final card is I call this the unburdening card. It's the Ten of Wands, and it is, comes with questions as well as answers, I guess. But first, it is unburdening. It is saying goodbye. Like I said, there are things that we surrender during these cycles that are necessary, because our directions have changed and we don't need certain things anymore. So it's learning how to say healthy goodbyes to things, whether they're people, places, or things, or animals, or whatever the energies may be. Soft goodbyes, sweet goodbyes. Sometimes in dealing with inevitable losses, we say goodbye every day a little bit, because we know we have to. So you may be toying and playing with certain ideas of, is there any longevity here? Especially with increased sensitivities can create imbalance in the energetic system. So what are you prepared to say goodbye to? The other thing too is this can denote more empathic sensitivities, and if what I think is true with the way the eclipse is hitting us, this solar eclipse, I think it's hitting, from what I understand, the south node, which is all the stuff that we're trying to leave behind us that didn't really work. In our last life, it's not going to work in this life, and then the idea is we're supposed to be working towards the higher octaves of our north node. Well, and yet energetically, I know that what's up for grabs in these next couple of weeks are the negative programming that came in, whether it was through the brain or any other chakra, mostly through the head space. it's not in alignment anymore. It's not part of the attunement plan. So I think that that's going to change. I think that how that all happens is going to be a little bit revolutionary, and I guess maybe that's it. When you're really willing to let go and you do and you release, and energetically every cell in your body is doing it, it's noticeable in every realm, in every corner, under every dark night. So you're not really going to be prevented from thriving, essentially, because all of the because they're basically, you have to surrender the negativity. I guess that's how it looks to me. That's what it's going to be asking you to do. So if it were making you miserable to begin with, is it easy to let go of, or is it harder to let go of? I mean, all kinds of people could answer that in a different way. So those are our cards. Now, I do want to ask, now that we know that, what else do we need to know about how this eclipse is going to form the next several months of our lives, and what reverberations will be heard well after that, or witnessed, I guess is the word I want to use. Witnessed. Oh my heavens. The Tower card. Well, and the Knight of Swords. So quick changes, lots of movement and consciousness. Wow. Yeah, don't be a rock, be the sand, basically, because if you're too hardened in your ways, it's gonna be harder. So the Tower sometimes comes with a change of address. It can come with somebody coming in from out of nowhere without you expecting it even, hardly. And then of course the Knight is like quick. She's the doer. Do. Get it done, deadline. Get it done, deadline. Well, yeah, there may be certainly going to be a move in consciousness. No question about it. Yeah, so I'll see you next time. Have a great couple of weeks.